Hi friends, today Know Thy Future brings you a brand new video. Today we'll be reading the poems of one of the most recognized faces, not only in Pakistan but throughout the world, Aftab Iqbal. He is one of the most famous Pakistanis. He's a TV producer, director, and he is most known for his show Khabarnak. And he is also known for changing channels, like switching from one channel to another. And now we will see the reason for his success. Now, first of all, we'll go through the palmistry aspect. We see, first of all, the dominant mounts. Now, the most dominant mounts are Apollo and Jupiter. Now, when Apollo and Jupiter are dominant, this makes him an Apollonian Jupiterian. Like, if we give an example, Donald Trump. Now, he is not exactly like Donald Trump. That does not mean that if the personality type is the same, it's just like saying two Capricorns are the same without looking at the overall birth chart. So, similarly, we have to look at the overall hand. The secondary developed mounts are Venus, Moon, and Mercury. And also in secondary development are Mars and upper Mars. Now you see almost all the mounts on his hand are developed, except for if we see the Saturn mount. So the Saturn mount, what it gives is when the Saturn mount is good, it gives a person a bit of a serious nature, it gives a person a very disciplined nature. So in his case, it also shows that he was rebellious by nature, but he would ultimately get success in his own field. Now what happens is, in the case of, if we say like Donald Trump, he also has Saturn in less development, and if we see his life story, that he does come from billions of dollars, and he took a $1 million loan. Maybe it was not even a joke, he actually might have taken it, but his initial ventures into business failed. It was not until he showed up in the show The Apprentice that he got international attention. He already had money, but the fame and the success came when he starred in the show. So similarly, Aftab Iqbal, he would get only success in the thing which interests him the most and which is easy for him to do. Hosting is not easy, but what seems effortless to him, that is the thing in which he will get success. You will also see that when almost all the mounts are developed, the person comes from a good family. In his case, his father is Zafar Iqbal, I think that's the name. He's a very famous poet in Pakistan. So maybe he doesn't come from a lot of money, but he definitely come from a very well established family, also like Trump. So we see here, now first of all, we see that also I met him in person one time. So we see that that time he was giving like a lecture to many people. I was sitting in the room and I was mesmerized by his storytelling skills. That is shown by the developed Apollo. Apollo stands for business. It stands for anything in front of the camera. Many actors, successful actors have it. Many successful entrepreneurs have it. That is because they are very presentable. Now they are smart in the world of presentation and business, but they are not very intellectually inclined. What happens is that if you read the book The Laws of Scientific Handreading by William Benham, he states that Apollonians are brilliant. There is only one word to describe them, as brilliant, because what happens is, if they sit in a room of scientists, inventors and such, and they have knowledge, tidbits of knowledge about everything. So my friends in the UAE who also watch his show, might not even watch any other Pakistani show, know that he is very knowledgeable, and he also shows tidbits of that in his show, snippets of information in his shows, as well as like film criticism, book reviews. So his shows are like part entertainment, part information. So that is shown by the Apollo mount. So it is not so surprised that Apollo is most developed. When we look at the Jupiter mount, we see that the Jupiter mount is the second most developed, and that the Jupiter finger is a little bit short. So this means it took time for the person to like find out what he wants to do in life. Jupiter, when it's very strong, the person is very dominating and such, especially when the Jupiter finger is high set, but it's low set to lessen those features. It just means, it does on the negative side, doesn't make the person egotistical, but it means that the person, when they get power, they could be a bit tyrannical. So that's why coupled with this, the Saturn mount not being that developed, it means that he loves to have his own way. So this is one part of his personality which might also scare people, in a way that he is like a Virgo by birth, and Virgos are grounded, but Virgo is also a mutable sign, which means change. So also when I met him, I saw that he was like what you say, I asked because he was not interested in palm reading as such, but he had his Astro-Numero chart read before. So this is what I asked him. So this is accurate information. He's born on the 19th of September, Virgo, 1961. So he will be 60 this year, and 19 is 1 plus 9 is equal to birth number 1. So his birth number 1 is represented by the sun. One people want to be number 1 in everything. Either they want to be, or they by circumstances become. So any top 10 list number, the person who is on number 1 spot, that will be mostly a number 1. Like Bill Gates held it for so many years until Jeff Bezos came, who is not a number 1 but a number 3. But we will go into his, you can just see the video of Jeff Bezos, why he is so successful, and you can see also Microsoft founder Bill Gates, why he isn't as successful now, though he does reign in the top 3 richest people, I think. Now we also see other characteristics. Now when we notice and we see how squarish it is. Square means practicality, and square also means hard working. So he is a very hard working person. Coupled with that, now many people would say that his headline and lifeline are joined for a long time. I would say till 35 or 40s, and it was, I think, in his 30s and 40s he started hosting his show. I'm not exactly sure of the age, but I'm pretty sure it was at least in the 40s. Just like Donald Trump, I think his head and lifelines are joined. So what happens is, many people would say, looking at the head and lifeline, and if they are amateur palmists, they would say that this person he came into success late, because when the head and lifelines are joined, success is late. No, that's not true. It means that he is very grounded. He thinks long term, so short term success means nothing to him. So at young age, first of all, he didn't know which direction to go. He might have been a bit introverted, which led to a lack of social skills. As you see, the Mercury finger is also low set, and also a lack of self esteem, maybe a bit of inferiority complex shown by the first finger. So that is sometimes impacting the person. We also see which of his worlds are developed. We see the third world is developed, so he is a lover of luxury, good things in life. You come to his house, you have the finest furniture, you have the finest interior design, you have the finest outer design, you have high quality books, high quality paperbacks, you have a swimming pool in his house. So he is a lover of luxury, and these people mostly don't just go for being rich. Like some people, they can be extremely rich, but their third world won't be developed, so they won't be spending on finer items. Not that they can't afford or they are like a miser, but that a better lifestyle is not what interests them. So but for him, the lifestyle, not only to satisfy others, like show that he is rich, but to be inherently satisfied. So that is why the third world is developed. We see that the second world is not developed, which stands for materialism, cleverness and such. So when that second world is developed, most people get initial business success because they know what they want to do at the early part of life. So instead of that, the first world is very developed. Now the first world being developed shows that the person is very intellectual, but he is intellectual in the business or presentation side, because as you see, the third world is developed, not the second world. So when the third world is developed, this person is smart in getting what he wants, because third world also stands for desire. So as I said, the Apollonian, he is not that smart intellectually. He is not also academically inclined. If these type of people, you won't see them like having degrees higher than bachelors, unless they have other qualities like a very straightish headline or the Saturn mount being strong. So in his case, it just means that he comes across as more smart than he really is, because he is a very good storyteller. As I said, he was talking for 2 hours when I was meeting him with other people. So I for 2 hours did not even look at my phone, because he was such a good storyteller. So that is also shown as his presentation skills. I would say in terms of not only fame that which he has, because Apollo also brings fame, and the mounts. If you see also the lines, all the main lines are clear as gold. But we see there are no minor lines, which also means clarity of purpose. Like when he found out what he wants to do in life, there was a clarity of purpose, and they have never been a major, I would say, because the hand is so clear, there has never been a major tragedy in his life, especially his personal life. So then further on, we see that if we see the lifeline is going a bit away than going inside. So he did go away from the home country to study either a bachelor's or a master's degree in mass communication in, I think, New York or California in film studies. So we see that's why he has the insider knowledge on everything. So this person could also have been successful abroad, but due to the line returning, that means he found his overall success in the country itself. Coupled with his excellent communication skills is the thumb, which is vase shaped. The logic side is vase shaped, which shows that he is very good in communication, doesn't rub you the wrong way. So like that's how he has so many contacts, because he is excellent in communication. Coupled with that, the thumb and the first finger have distance between it, which means he is very generous with money. But as the heart line is going, the heart line is ending between Saturn and Jupiter, he only will give money if he sees the other person is deserving. He is not a miser or is not stingy, but he will only give money to either those he deeply cares about or those he thinks are talented enough to deserve it. And then we see the will phalange. It is very thick, very strong. It just shows that the person could, even though he has diplomatic skills, could be very blunt when in person. So that is one thing which he should also care for, because as he is entering his 60s, it is not a time to take giant leaps. Because 60s is close to retirement, but his energy levels shown by the depth of the lines on the hand show that he could be working well into his 90s, because like Clint Eastwood, who is working in his 90s, directing and acting and everything, this person has also has high level energies. But overworking, workaholism, too much of having your own way and constant changing because of the lack of discipline, though that latter thing I would say lessens with age, he still should look after his health, even though the lifeline is good. And we see towards the end there's a very strong Mars line, which means that even if there are health problems, they will be very lessened and nothing serious will happen. So he just has to avoid workaholism. But overall we see that his heart line, even though it is very far away from the fingers, which shows only a tad few people know him, it is going upwards, which means even though less people know him, he is able to be a very good judge of character like a Virgo, and he is able to reach the hearts of people through his works, through his talks and stuff. That's why the heart line is going upwards instead of straight. So that's there as well. The excellent headline. Now what caught my fancy was the headline. When I met him, I saw that his headline was excellent. Basically people with headline going like downwards towards the upper mount of moon have success in the domain of the imagination, because the mount of moon is also medium developed and the headline is going downwards. So these people get a lot of success when they combine their third world, which is desire, with their first world. So desire for fame, money, coupled with the intellect going that way, means that this person will get what he desires, will get the lifestyle he wants, as the lifestyle, I said, is very important to him. Not only being rich, but having a good lifestyle, and he is worth at least $5 million at this stage of life. So again, the headline going downward shows that he has this ability to also predict future trends, and that's why whenever he makes a video, he knows like this video will be a hit, or this TV channel I will be the the main person, the main attraction in the show on the network, because I can see the future. So the headline, that's why it is going downwards, and the headline is very excellent coupled with the heart line as well, because the heart line is also very balanced with the headline. But we see the narrow gap in between. So this person, yeah, as I said, he is very stubborn, also shown by the thumb. So losing opportunities, changing channels, changing networks, having this Saturn mount less developed means the lack of discipline can impact him later on, because as you see, this line is also coming in the 60s, which means guardian angel line. It protects against enemies, it protects against hits to reputation, protects against fatal health injuries and such, or fatal ailments. So this is why, as I'm saying, that he should a bit slow down, should become more disciplined, although it does increase the positive thing shown by the lack of Saturn does increase with age. But again, lack of Saturn also means optimistic and jolly personality, and he is by nature an optimist, which is also going in his way, because Virgos and earth signs tend to be a bit pessimistic. So he has a very excellent hand, but he should look after his health more. And we also see that the Venus mount is very good. This also, the Venus mount, you will see in the actually it is very similar, this lower structure, to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson also connects to millions of people in the world. He has his own style. He came from a wrestling background, but he he has surpassed his dad in all way. Also, he has surpassed his dad in the terms of fame and such, even though he is very close to his dad and his family, which is shown by the attached headline and lifeline. And also, now we come to the most important thing on the hand, which is, why is there not a very strong Apollo line, which stands for fame, or even a fate line is not there, and also a Mercury line is not there. When I met him in person, I also noticed that this is the hand he writes with, but he does not, which means that it is his dominant hand, which shows that the things we the success we make on our own merit. But we see that the fate line is there. It is very what do you say, faint, or it is almost non-existent. You could even say he doesn't have a fatal line, but if he does, it is like this. It is coming from the mount of moon, which means that the person needs public approval to move ahead. But we will look at his hand in the case of not having a fatal line, because I swear, because when I met him and he raised his hand, there was no fatal line at all. So again, this comes under the category of the perfect example of a person not having a fatal line, meaning he makes his own opportunities. He what you say, this person could get opportunities, of course, but this person makes his own opportunities. That's why in the fields of entrepreneurship, politics, where nothing is certain, there or even freelancing online, or on in those fields which are not considered non-traditional, especially from a Pakistani standpoint, online businesses, online millionaires, and such and such. So there we see that the no fate line people, they succeed in doing their own thing. So a fate line with a person, when he doesn't have a fate line or she doesn't have a fate line, they come to me, I don't know what to do in life. Not that they don't have a fate line, that's the reason why, or they write that they don't have a fate line, it means no success or such. But I am giving you a prime example of a person who is beyond successful, because this person, he made his own opportunities. When the fate line is not there, because the fate line shows satisfaction, so this shows that he is never satisfied. He is always thinking of new things. That's why he is a bit of a workaholic, because his mind is always working. So maybe insomnia, anxiety, these things happen. But overall, the hand structure is strong, which means that at least he is not sensitive, and he doesn't care what people think about him. Another quality he shares with Donald Trump. So again, he is successful because almost all the mounts are developed, and the headline is very excellent. It is going towards the mount of moon, which is the mount of imagination, intuition, of predicting future things, and also of being very creative. And as it is long, that means he can handle many things at once. He is very multi-talented, but not as such that person like always switching careers. He has had one career for maybe 2 decades, but he has switched channels because of the lack of Saturn. Then we see that the lifeline is also very strong for a long period of time. So people sometimes they have this kind of lifeline which is small, but in his case he has a long lifeline because his thinking is long term. He is grounded, but his thinking, whatever he plans, even if he is on the channel for a week or on the network for a week, his thinking is long term success. So this person, these type of people with this kind of hand or no fate line, long headline and such, they initially get success, more success or more grounded success, more financial stability in their 40s or from 36 onwards. We also see maybe a slight sun line here as a from here rising from the headline. Now when any line rises from the headline, the sun line especially, because the fate line, Jupiter line, Mercury line, anything can rise from that. But when it specifically rises from a sloping headline and it is going towards the Apollo mount, that means that the person, again we have to measure the age. When it is from here to here, that means from 36 to 53, 36 to 53 will be the best period of this person's life, when they will get opportunities for fame, when they have struggled so much in the initial period and then they get opportunities for fame. Of course, this could be an old picture and he might have a very strong Apollo line, which I won't be surprised, but the development of the Apollo makes up for any lack of sun line. So the sun line, fame, it also shows like if the fate line shows satisfaction, then the sun line shows happiness. So that's why many less people have it early on, because they are not very happy, or even child stars, they might have a sun line like this, like starting from the base of the mount of moon, but they won't have any sun line here, because as you see, child stars, if they are not like don't have a well structured hand like Mr. Aftab Iqbal, they they have a lot of bad luck because they don't manage their own money, or they are deceived by their parents or manager, or they get into drugs and such. So that's why child stars only have a sun line till from the base, but not further on, because at that time they are dealing with mental issues, and it's not until the sun line is back or that the fate line becomes very strong in the middle period that they get that sense of satisfaction back in life. Now we will go towards the end, as we will go not deeply, because someone suggested that the videos are getting too long, and I also agree that 10 to 20 minutes is enough. That's also what I make for clients. So again, 19 September. So 1 plus 9, the good thing, the person always rises to the top of the position, but the person has problems with authority, which is also shown by his, not only his lack of Saturn, but his low set Jupiter finger and the developed Jupiter mount. So position like fights with authority and such, the person is most successful doing his own thing, or at least in a partnership. So then we also see that's why he got maybe success late, because he wanted more experience in the field. We also see the September, 19 September. So this is like Virgo. So Virgo people, if we see his Virgo people are social, Virgo people can be people pleasers in the initial part of life, but then they learn from their mistakes. The problem with Virgos are they are highly critical of things. They could be highly critical vocally, they could be highly critical through writing, or they could just have a self-critical nature as well. So this person might also have a self-critical nature, so that is also one thing he has to work on, because the Saturn mount which gives a person discipline in life is less. So this is always impacting his life in some way, so he should avoid too many arguments, even though overall he is a very good person, he has a very developed Venus mount which makes him loving and caring, and he genuinely cares about people. But he should, again, as I said, avoid taking uncalculated risks, because he is entering in 60s, and around that same time a Mars line is coming. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was fun, and have a very nice day.